Everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I've just finished watching episode 2 of Loki. This is going to be a full spoiler review, so go ahead and watch the show first and then come on back. So let's go ahead and just jump into what happened. During a 1980s Renaissance fair, a team of TVA agents are attacked by the mysterious hooded Loki variant that they've been hunting. One of them gets possessed and attacks the rest of the team, and then the Loki ends up stealing more of those time bombs, the ones that destroy entire timelines, which I still think are kind of equally as dangerous as the Infinity Gauntlet, really, if you can just destroy entire timelines like that. And also ends up kidnapping one of the agents. We'll remember to come back to that. And then we go back to the Loki that we've been following, and they bring this Loki to this crime scene, basically, where he kind of bullshits them for a little bit, kind of just talks about like, oh, the Loki's outside and we've fallen into the trap, but I'm the superior Loki, and he kind of just messes with them. And I don't know if he was just trying to kind of wait out the timeline to see what happens when it actually hits red, because apparently what happens is the red lines that you kind of see on some of their monitors, if a branch of time goes past the red line, they can no longer delete it, which I'm not sure why that would be the case. It kind of feels like you could just drop one of those bombs down and do that at any moment, but I don't know, that's what they said, that they can't really get rid of that timeline once it's past some kind of red line for some reason. But anyways, they end up coming back to this TVA after they destroy this timeline. They release one of those bombs, and Mobius, I think it's Mobius, ends up having to have a meeting with the judge boss lady character, the one that's in charge of the TVA. And what we're actually revealed here is that Mobius has also never seen the Timekeepers, which kind of adds even more credence that the Timekeepers might be bullshit, which I think Loki is also kind of testing this theory, because he's basically what he wants really is to see the Timekeepers. And later on, we'll get back to this, but later on he'll claim that the reason he wants to see the Timekeepers is because he's trying to basically take over the TVA and stab them in the back, or whatever the case might be, if they're even real. Basically, but anyways, yeah, so this boss lady seems to be the only one that claims to have seen the Timekeepers, which we might have a Wizard of Oz situation here. She might be the person behind the curtain there, or the show wants you to believe that, and it does turn out that they are indeed real. Either way, it could still be the case, but right now I'm leaning towards it's all fake and the TVA is just a bunch of propaganda. And they kind of go into this. Mobius and Loki sit down and have a talk about how, like, if you go back to where either of us came from, it sounds ridiculous. It talks about like Loki was born from a frost giant and raised by Odin of the king of Asgard beyond the stars and all this other stuff, and it sounds just as ridiculous as 3 space lizards, keepers of time, that created the TVA. And Mobius kind of just goes into how, like, it's what I believe is real, and so it is, because I was born into this chaos, and this chaos that I was born into happened to give me the TVA and all the ability to do this job, and so it's just kind of how, like, you believe in your current situation, and it gives you this glorious purpose, as he puts it. So I don't know, it's just very interesting stuff, and I don't know how Mobius is going to react if it turns out that they're not real and none of this actually means anything. Maybe there was no multiversal war. Maybe it's all just another bid for control, as Loki put it in the last episode. So I don't know, very interesting stuff happening there that I'm sure will be dove more into. I don't know, it'll be delved more into later on. So basically what we end up seeing is that Loki needs to do more research on the different cases that they've been having with this other Loki that they're hunting down. He tries to do research on the beginnings of the TVA and the beginnings of time, and then at the end of time, all of which are classified. He's not allowed, they're all restricted information he's not allowed to see, which again, it's like, okay, so there's definitely some shady stuff happening here with the timekeepers. You know, no one seems to have seen them, and we're not allowed to know anything about them or the beginning of the TVA or any of this information. So I don't know, it's definitely sounding more and more like complete bullshit. Anyways, so what Loki ends up doing is he sees this report of Asgard's destruction, where, you know, side note, the report says that like 2,000 something people died on Asgard, which, if I watched Thor Ragnarok, did not seem to be the case. I don't know if maybe if I missed something. I guess more people died there than I thought. I thought that they had gotten a lot of people on the ship to escape Asgard before its destruction, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. In any case, what he ends up theorizing is that this other Loki is hiding inside of apocalyptic events. Basically, if you were to arrive, like say an hour before everyone and everything around you gets destroyed, you can kind of do and say whatever you wanted, and it wouldn't have any effect on the actual timeline, because like there's no butterfly effect. You know, those changes that you made don't go on to change other things. So there would be no nexus event that would trigger the TVA to show up, which actually makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm trying to like find a hole in there, but it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, if there's no butterfly effect, then the TVA would never find out that it happened, because it's like it didn't affect anything, you know. And they even test this theory with Pompeii, which a pretty funny scene where he's just telling everyone in the village, like, you're all about to die and nothing matters, so just dance and laugh and whatever you gotta do, because it's all about to end right now. And Mobius is like, yeah, there's no nexus energy here, so yeah, he's right, that like this could totally happen. Which is, I don't know, that's really smart. I like that idea. That was just a really cool idea. And what else they end up finding out is that because of the gum that the kid had in the first episode, the kablooey gum that turned the kid's teeth blue, they end up finding out that, like, well, that gum was not sold before 2040 something, and the only other apocalyptic event that makes sense for Loki to be hiding out at is basically this giant, let's just call it a Walmart, I guess, in Alabama in 2050 during a hurricane. But it's stacked with all the supplies that you would need, and you could just keep on revisiting that one day, I guess, over and over again, and you would never get caught, really, because again, all of it's about to be destroyed later that day by the storm. So you could kind of just chill out there and just keep on coming back to the same day over and over again. So they end up going there, where Loki, everyone kind of splits off into searching for who may or may not be Loki, because again, Loki could just shapeshift into any form it chose to, right? So what we end up finding is that the person that Loki's with ends up getting possessed, and now he's talking through this other person to the Loki that they're hunting, while the rest of the TVA, Owen Wilson's character, ends up finding that agent who got kidnapped at the beginning of the episode, and this agent is just repeating over and over again, it's real, it's real, it's real. So, you know, something crazy happened to this agent here. That agent also says that she told this Loki where to find the timekeepers, which is, you know, so I guess that kind of pushes against the theory. So if this agent knew where to find the timekeepers, maybe other people have seen the timekeepers. Maybe it's just Mobius and Loki who have not seen them yet. I don't know. That kind of almost pushes against the theory that the timekeepers are bullshit. So I don't know. But in any case, that's what she said, and I guess that's the information that this Loki variant had kind of forced out of her, I guess through possession. So Loki kind of talks to this other Loki, talks about how, like, hey, I'm gonna try and take over the TVA, and my plan is to see the timekeepers and conquer the TVA and all their power and all this stuff. But this other Loki is not interested in that. She seems to have some other plans. Spoiler alert, it turns out that this Loki is indeed, like a lot of people thought, a female Loki, when she takes down the hood. And what this other Loki ends up doing is activating all of those time bombs that she's been stealing and sending them to the main timeline and triggering all these different branches all at the same time. And then at the last moment, our Loki ends up following that Loki through a time door, escaping Mobius and the TVA. And that's where the episode ends. So we have this major catastrophic event in the timeline happening, where they're gonna, my thing is that this Loki sent those bombs, assumingly to different places all at the same time, which would delete timelines, I guess, right? So I'm kind of trying to figure out how, like, if you delete timelines, that somehow caused branches to happen. I'm not entirely understanding how that happened, or specifically what the deal was. All I know is that a bunch of those bombs were sent, and they say that the Loki bombed the sacred timeline. That's how they say it. But in any case, crazy stuff's happening to the timeline right now, and our Loki has followed the other Loki to wherever she escaped to, so we'll see what happens there. And my thing is that you can never tell what our Loki is, what side he's really on. He's kind of on his own side, but maybe he seems to at least get along with Mobius and actually care about Mobius. And he seems to, like, almost be like, the villain with the heart of gold kind of thing, because when one of the TVA agents who had been possessed by the female Loki gets knocked out, this Loki actually ends up checking her pulse to make sure that she's still alive. So it's like little moments like that. It's like, okay, so this Loki does care, which kind of leads me to, like, is his plan that he told the female Loki to stab the timekeepers in the back and take power from them and conquer the TVA, was that just bullshit that he was telling the female Loki? Like, was he just making that up and he doesn't actually want that? I can't tell. I have no idea. It seems like it's like is he just trying to infiltrate the female Loki and try to, like, win her over and get information, that way he can betray her too? Or like, what side is Loki on? You can never tell. And I guess that's really the trick here, is like he's the trickster, right? I can't tell what team he's playing for here. But in any case, yeah, that's where the episode ends. And man, so much stuff could happen here. What did that TVA agent actually know where the timekeepers are? Because she said she told the female Loki where to find the timekeepers. That's what she said, which is very interesting. So this female Loki does want to find them, I guess, but also claims that she's not interested in ruling the TVA. So maybe she just wants to destroy it all. And I guess she's certainly doing a good job at doing that. But then that's like, okay, so the timekeepers are real? I don't know. It still feels very much like this could go either way. I feel like we kind of got a little bit of push for both answers here, that they are actually going to end up being real or they're entirely full of shit. I don't know yet. Very interesting. And yeah, I hope, we only have 6 episodes of this show, so I really enjoy our Loki and Owen Wilson's character working together as, like, this buddy cop duo team here, where they're both doing research and working together. I really enjoy that, like, relationship that they got going on there. That's really cool. So I hope that they're not separated for too long, because I feel like now the TVA is going to be like, see Mobius, we told you couldn't trust this Loki. Look, he ran off with the other Loki, and now we have to hunt them both down. Now they're both evil, right? So I hope that that's not something that gets dragged on too long, and it does turn out that, like, yeah, this Loki was just gathering information. He's just trying to see what he could find out about this other Loki, right? He's not actually, turning evil and trying to kill everyone at the TVA now. So I don't know. We'll find out what happens. Again, you know, our Loki is kind of the one with the heart of gold, but he's just mischievous now. You know, that's just his character. So I don't know, we'll find out. Anyways, I really enjoyed this episode. There's a lot of stuff that could happen here, and honestly, there's just there's no way to like guess what could happen. Like I didn't expect this second episode to already just like, okay, we're doing this, here's the reveal of the other Loki, here's the attack on the secret timeline. Both major problems that could anything could happen at this point. And Loki did seem to want to visit Asgard. That was his first thing when he introduced this idea of like, oh, the apocalypse and all that. For a moment, it seemed like he was just saying all this so that way he could kind of trick them into letting him go to Asgard. So I wonder if he had like a plan there where he was gonna like, you know, escape, you know, like Mobius said, like escape back home and do something before it blew up. I thought for a minute, I thought that that's where the episode was headed. So who knows, maybe that could still be the case. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your theories and your thoughts about what could possibly be happening here. What does the female Loki actually want? Like is it just to destroy the sacred timeline and mess with stuff, or is there like a bigger plan here? I don't know. Very interesting. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.